everybody, it's JT Sports. I'm at you guys with another video. This video I'm here with my Auburn versus LSU Week 9 college football preview and prediction. I'm going to be previewing this matchup and give my prediction for who will win this game. Now before I begin, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, upload NFL videos and college football videos daily. So, in this game we have number 10 Auburn, 6-1 on the season, on the road at number 3 LSU and Death Valley, who is 7-0 on the season. Now, before I begin, a lot of people keep on saying this is a must-win game for Auburn. I don't think it is. And here's why. Because Auburn beat Oregon early on in the season, right? Oregon is on the outside of looking in of the top 10, right? That's an impressive victory there. That looks good to the committee. They beat Texas A&M. Texas A&M isn't ranked anymore, but at the time they were still ranked. So that means Auburn was 2-0 versus the top 25, right? Then they lost to Florida. That moves them to 2-1 versus the top 25. So they lose to LSU. They'll be 2-2 against the top 25, right? A lot of you guys might think their playoff chances are over. Well, not necessarily. Because here's why. They still have to play Alabama in the Iron Bowl. We're taking that, even though Tua Tagovailoa is going to be injured. Even though Tua Tagovailoa is going to be missing time, we're still taking that Alabama's still going to be a top 10 by the time top 10 team by the time they play Auburn. Then you got Georgia, right? Now, the Georgia game might be a little bit tricky. Because it all depends on if Georgia beats Florida or not. So, if Georgia beats Florida, they will without a doubt be a top 10 team. And that matchup, they could potentially have two top 10 opponents that could be two potential wins, right? Because they are at home in those games, right? So if they lose this game versus LSU, but they go out and they beat Georgia, and they beat Alabama, then you have a legit case that Auburn could be in the college football playoffs. Not to mention if Oregon wins the Pac-12 championship. If Oregon wins the Pac-12 championship and they win out, and Oregon only has one loss to Auburn, you got an interesting discussion in that college football playoff committee. Because you got a team in the Auburn that although they potentially be the top 10 team in Oregon, because if Oregon wins out and win the Pac-12 championship, they're going to be a top 10 team. Then you'll have the losses to Florida. Then you potentially have the loss in this LSU game. If they win or lose this game, if they win this game, it's going to be looking very impressive. Or if they lose this game, but they beat Georgia and they beat Alabama, plus you add the Oregon win, if Oregon wins out, you will potentially have beaten 3 top 10 teams. 3. No other team will have that other than LSU. Now let's get into LSU, right? This is why I don't think this is a must-win game for neither one of these teams, right? Unless when it comes to the SEC West, deciding who gets into the SEC championship, then it's a must-win for Auburn. But look, if LSU loses this game, I'm just talking about in terms of the college football playoffs, right? So if LSU loses this game, right, but they beat Alabama, and they beat Florida, this will be their only loss. So this is an LSU team that is 2-0 versus the top 10, right? If they lose this game, they'll be 2-1 versus the top 10, right? But if they beat Alabama, they'll be 3-1 versus the top 10. I still think even if LSU loses this game, they still should be included in the college football playoffs if they win out, right? Even with 2 losses, I think LSU could get in. But that's off topic a little bit. But either way, I don't think this is a must-win for neither one of these teams when it comes to the college football playoffs. Because even if Auburn loses this game, I still think if they beat Georgia and Alabama, that's an interesting argument for Auburn to get in. And then if Oregon wins the Pac-12 championship and they win out, you got an interesting argument for why Auburn, a 2-loss team, should be in the college football playoffs. Because that means Auburn has more quality wins than teams like Ohio State, Oklahoma. Who else? Oregon's schedule hasn't really been that good. Notre Dame. I'm just saying. I would put a 2-loss Auburn team, if they lose this game but end up beating Georgia and Alabama, I would put that Auburn team in the college football playoffs over the winner of the Pac-12 or the Big 12, right? I would do that because their schedule has been a lot tougher. Now that might cause, I know that's going to cause debate in the comment section, but look, that's just how I see it, right? So looking at my keys to victory, what both of these teams need to be able to do and able to win this game. Auburn has to limit the big pass plays. LSU is averaging 13.7 yards per completion every time they throw the football. They're getting at least nearly 14 yards per completion. So they have to limit the big pass plays. And the way that you do that, because Auburn's secondary doesn't necessarily impress me. I'm not confident in Auburn's secondary. But when I am confident in their defensive line. Their defensive line is going to get pressure on Joe Burrow and force Joe Burrow to get the ball out quick. Now, we've seen LSU, they like throwing these big vertical routes across the field and things like that. They have all these big explosive plays in the passing game. But if you're able to get pressure on Joe Burrow, and the defensive line should be able to, because this is the best defensive line in the nation, this defensive line, they're going to be able to get pressure on Joe Burrow. He's not going to have enough time to sit back there and let those big vertical passing routes down the field develop. So therefore, he's going to have to check the ball out. He's going to have to check down and get the ball out quick. Because he's not going to have enough time with how good his defensive line is to let those deep vertical passing routes develop. So that's how Auburn stops the big pass plays right there with just the penetration on the defensive line alone. So the next thing they have to be able to do is they have to get stops on third down and they have to get stops in the red zone. Because look, LSU is the best third down offense and the best red zone offense, right? LSU is top 10 on third down conversions. They're converting third downs 49% of the time. They have the best red zone offense in the country. Auburn has the 13th best red zone defense, and they're 10th in the nation in third down conversion allowing opposing opponents to convert on third down 29% of the time. But if Auburn wants to win this game, their defense is going to have to get stops inside the red zone. It's going to be absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial, because it's almost nearly impossible to stop this LSU offense when they get inside the red zone. So Auburn, what they're going to have to be able to do is they're going to have to find ways to stop this LSU offense from scoring touchdowns inside the red zones and get this LSU offense kicking field goals. If you're the Auburn defense, I feel really confident about myself. I'll let LSU score 3 points. So if they're able to hold LSU to field goals inside the red zone, then Auburn has a very good chance of winning this game. Then, the most important thing is, Bo Nix has to play well. Look, a lot of people are going to go back to that Florida game and be like, Auburn doesn't have a chance. Did you see the Florida game? Look, the thing in the Florida game was that Bo Nix was turning the ball over in the red zone. He turned the ball over in the red zone. And he was making mental mistakes. Let's not act like Florida just beat Auburn because they were just a more talented team. They beat Auburn because of mistakes. Now, Bo Nix has to play well. He has to limit the mistakes. He has to play well, right? And Bo Nix comes out here and we get the Bo Nix that we saw versus Arkansas, and we get the Bo Nix that we saw versus Texas A&M, and we get the Bo Nix that we saw versus Mississippi State. Then Auburn can win this game. But we get this Bo Nix that we saw versus Florida, this game is going to be a blowout. I don't care how good the defense plays. The defense can play the best game they've played in all their entire careers. Game's still going to be a blowout. Because look, you cannot, I don't care how good your defense is. If you cannot sustain drives and put points on the board, you're not going to win. You're not going to win this game. So Bo Nix has to play his best game. He needs to put the Florida game behind him. He has to. Because this game is Bo Nix has to play a very good game. Because this is a very high-scoring offense. This offense, it doesn't matter how good the defense is, how many stops the defense gets, Auburn is still going to have to put up points in this game if they want to win. And it's going to be more than 20. Okay? So, Bo Nix has to play lights out on that. Every week people ask me, do you trust Bo Nix? Do you trust Bo Nix? I don't trust Bo Nix. I thought I trust him. I trust him a little bit more after the Mississippi State game. But after the performance that he put in Florida, You cannot turn the ball over in the red zone. You can't. You just can't. You can't throw red zone interceptions. You just can't. And Gus Malzahn, in this game, he has to coach Bo Nix up. He has to coach Bo Nix. He has to be like, look, if a throw is in there, throw it away. Look for another play. Okay, some of this stuff is coaching. You can coach mistakes. You can go back on film. You can be like, hey, look, if it's something like that, just throw the ball away. Let's live for another play. Or take the sack. Don't risk losing extra yards trying to make a play and things like that. Mistakes can be coached. Florida didn't out-talent Auburn. Auburn lost that game because they turned the ball over inside the red zone and gave Florida a short field to work with. Now what LSU has to be able to do to win this game is LSU has to stop the run. Auburn is 11th in the country in rushing yards per attempt. Rushing yards per game. And they're like one of the best teams in rushing yards per carry. They're averaging nearly 5.3 yards per carry. And they run the ball on 63% of their plays. So if Auburn, right, if you take away the run game from Auburn, like what Florida did, and you force them to pass the ball and rely on Bo Nix, do you feel confident if you're LSU? Auburn is a running football team. They call run plays on 63% of their play calls. So if you stop the run, then you're going to force pressure on Bo Nix, a true freshman, on the road in Death Valley. Bo Nix is going to have a legendary performance, right? So if you're Auburn's defensive coordinator, you say, hey, we're going to let Bo Nix beat us. If we lose this game because of Bo Nix, oh well. That's the risk that we're willing to take. Because Bo Nix has been inconsistent throwing the football this year. And the last thing LSU needs to be able to do is, they got to get pressure on Bo Nix. Bo Nix under pressure has not been that good under the blitz. Here's what Bo Nix does when he gets under pressure. Immense pressure, right? He tucks the ball and runs. And he either tries to run the ball. Here's what he does. Here's what I noticed. He would, under pressure, he will roll out to the right. He will literally roll into the pressure. He will literally run into a sack. Or he will try to extend a play and get sacked. Or he would throw a turnover. So if you get pressure on Bo Nix, he'll make mistakes. He'll make a lot of mistakes. Especially with him being a true freshman. And like I just said, under pressure, he'll either roll out and roll right into a sack. Or he'll try to do some double behind, try to extend the plays instead of just throwing the ball away. He'll either get sacked or throw an interception. So that's what happens if you get pressure on Bo Nix. And if LSU is able to get constant pressure on Bo Nix, they're most likely going to end up winning this game. So a team I'm going with to win this game, I'm going to go with LSU to win this game. The reason why is I just don't trust Bo Nix. I love the Auburn defense. I love it. I love Gus Malzahn and his play calling so far this season. But I don't love Bo Nix. I don't trust him. On the road at Death Valley. I just don't trust him. You can do what you want to do against Arkansas. Arkansas is god-awful. You can do what you want to do against Mississippi State. But last time I trusted Bo Nix, he turned the ball over 3 times versus Florida. I don't trust him in this game versus LSU. I just don't think Auburn's offense can score enough points to keep with LSU's offense. So I think LSU wins this game 31-17 is my final score prediction for this game. So let me know who you guys think ends up winning this game down in the comment section down below. Also make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and college football videos. And thanks for watching.